Do you know, one of the things that I know I have done and that has stopped me from moving forward with things that I've wanted to do has been my past, the things that people have said, things that have happened, even back from school. You remember the experiences you've had, and you just think, you know what, no, been there, done that. And it's kind of like you shut the door to the possibility and potential of making changes, doing something that you've always wanted to do. You just have this horrible memory of being humiliated in front of the class or something that your teacher has said that just stuck with you, and it's like this hook that just hangs on to you, and you just kind of can't let it go because it's always there. And it can be so difficult sometimes to say, you know what, I'm going to move forward regardless. I'm not going to let my past hold me back. And it's hard. It's true. It can be so difficult to get over those. I won't even call them a hiccup because they're not hiccups. They are just experiences that you have that just hold you back. It's not that you want them to. It's that they are moments that always come to mind when you try and do something for the first time, try and do something new, because you just have these memories that stay with you, and they can be difficult to shift, but it's not impossible to shift them. So I would say, don't let your past dictate your future, dictate what you choose to do with your life, where you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to move forward. As you get older, sometimes we can think that it's too late. You know, life is passing you by. You know what? That's for the young. You know, oh God, that is such a phrase. That's a term I really hate using. Oh no, that's for young people. That's for people far younger than me. You know what? There's few things actually I would say that are truly past you. Like if you wanted to go to university, for example, you can go. There's nothing stopping you. I met people at uni who were 25 and thought they were too old for university, who thought, oh my God, I'm going to be the oldest in my seminars or in the workshops. I'm going to be the oldest one there. You know, gosh, I'm like, stop it. That's, I think, what I said to someone. Oh, just stop it. I went, no, enough. And they realised, actually, when they realised, like, I was over 50, I'm like 55. In fact, yeah, I was 55 at the time. And they're like, oh, okay. Suddenly they realised they were far younger than me. You know, like, I'm like twice their age. It was funny. I felt for them. I didn't give them a hard time because I understood what they meant. But to me, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm twice your age and you are worried about being too old for uni. You see, it doesn't matter what age you are. We often think that we're too old for something. Sometimes we believe that we're past some kind of prime. I don't even know what that's about, to be honest. I do think there are barriers that are put in our way. There are things that people say and just don't think about until the situation then applies to them and they realise, oh, wait a minute, 40 is not old, 30 is not old, 50 is not old. When you're a kid, it sounds like it's as far as the moon. It sounds like it's flipping way off in the distance. But when you're there, you realise just how much energy and life you still have in you, how much you can still do. It's wonderful once you get there and you realise that, but that's only if you allow yourself to realise that you still have so much in you to give and to do, and the only limitations is literally what you put in your own way. When you think about your past, when you think about the things that hold you back, there's something you tried and it didn't work out. I don't know, maybe you opened a business, maybe you tried running the marathon. It could be absolutely anything, but then you found that actually it just didn't work out. You failed. I don't really like to use the word failure, to be honest, because you tried something but the route you've taken just didn't work. It may literally just be you quit too soon, or something you were doing needed tweaking. You needed to give it a shift so that actually you could go forward. Maybe that's all you needed to do, but the path you were taking at that time just wasn't working. But looking back now, you can possibly say, now I can see where I went wrong. Now I know what I should have done. Now I know what I could have done. The thing is with that is it's a lesson. It's something you've learned. You now understand why what you did didn't work. It's not that you failed. You tried, but you hadn't found the right key to make it work. And actually, the part of that might be that it actually just wasn't for you, whatever you decided to do. I've had 3 high street businesses, and I would say of them all, I really enjoyed barbering. That was a lot of fun. I met so many different people. I had so many different experiences. I had such a hoot. It was hilarious. It was a great time. And it brought me some incredible opportunities. One of them would have been, had I taken it, and to be honest with you, I just didn't want to move to London. It would have been to have my own stand doing hot towel wet shaves in the middle of Selfridges. That would have been a flipping amazing experience. It would have been fun, but I didn't want to move to London, and I sure as hell wasn't going to be commuting every day. So I had a choice to make, and I decided, no, that wasn't the path for me. But when I think about the businesses that I have had, now I realise actually I don't want to be running a shop. I'm not kidding you if you've ever done that. To say it's hard work is a major understatement, and definitely not for the faint-hearted. So you could have tried something and realised it wasn't for you. It wasn't actually what you really wanted to do, but at least you tried it, at least you gave it a go. At least you can't look back later on and say, what if I'd done this? What if I'd tried that? So it isn't necessarily that what you did didn't work for you. It may be just that you found that it wasn't for you after all, or you hadn't found the right key to make it work. So that could be something that you think, well, actually, I'm not going to do such and such in the future. I'm not going to try anything new because that didn't work. You're shutting the door to absolutely every opportunity. It could be that you had a really awful experience at school, and I don't think there's anybody, I think I would struggle to find many people that haven't had that horrible teacher at school. Some people were just not born to be teachers, but they do that job anyway. I don't know about now, but certainly in the 70s and 80s wasn't the best experience in the world. However, teachers don't know everything. They do not know everything. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know that I am an artist. However, had I listened to a teacher that I had, I would not be doing art now. That certainly wouldn't be the thing that I spend my day doing. I wouldn't be writing, I wouldn't be doing art, I wouldn't be a creative. God knows what I would be doing now. So even though your experience at school may not have been great, when I say I don't care how old you are, I do mean that. You could be 19, you could be 75. It really doesn't matter what age you are. Your experience from the past does not have to hold you back. They are traumatic and they can leave scars that people don't see, but it's finding a way through them, and I cannot tell you how to navigate that because I don't know your experiences. But what I do know is if you work through them, you will not reach the end of your days with regrets of not trying. You will not look back and say, if only I got over my fear, if only I found a way to work through that horrible memory that held me back. I have had many of them. I still have some that I'm working through because life is a series of lessons, it's a series of paths, it's a journey, and it's something that we all have to work through. And I don't care who anybody is, we've all got memories of experiences that are less than conducive to our mental health and well-being. And they are scars that we carry on the inside that people don't see, but they don't have to remain a barrier for what we want to do and achieve with our lives. I always think of some of the experiences I've had and look at where I am today, and I would love to see my teachers' faces because I know they wrote me off. They said I would never amount to anything, I would never achieve anything, and as far as they were concerned, I wasn't worth bothering with. Fortunately, I knew I was worth bothering with. Fortunately, I found my way through. And I will say there was a book I bought, oh gosh, when was it? I would say mid-90s, I think it was. I bought this book by Jack Canfield, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. I was in a really difficult situation, a really difficult place, and I needed to get out of it. I needed to turn my life around. It had to turn around, or I may not have been here today. It was that bad. Things were very difficult, to say the least. And when I read that book, it was the catalyst. It was one of those, I would say it's one of those aha moments when you read it, you read the pages. The first chapter was very difficult to read. I will confess, anyone that's ever had that book or read that book, I would say the first chapter is the hardest, because it is telling you you are responsible for your outcomes. And I remember looking at my life and thinking, this isn't my fault. Where I am today isn't my fault. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. There was so many, I think I put that book down for about 2-3 weeks, and I really struggled to pick it up because I could not face that first chapter, that I was responsible for my outcomes. I was responsible for my life being in such a state. And I was like, there is no way this is my fault. However, once I got over myself, and once I set my ego and my upset to one side, and I picked that book up again and I read it. I sat with that first chapter and I asked myself some questions, some honest questions. Denver, what have you been doing? What did you not do? What did you carry on doing when in fact the truth was, if you look at it, that really wasn't going to be good for you? Once I realized just how, even though it was difficult, once I realised how actually empowering that was, if I'm responsible for where I am today, that means I can change where I'm going. Hang on. So I was able to flip that around and take a look at it from a different perspective. Admit where I've been, I could have avoided had I made some right choices, had I made some right decisions. I could have made some changes there, but actually, I can do something about what's coming. So with that realization, I am where I am today. And I do have people say to me, which still baffles me because I've never had this experience before, where they say, oh my God, your life is amazing. There are still things I want to change. There are still things I want to do. There are still things that could be better. But I tell you what, it's a hell of a lot better than where I have been. I can tell you. However, those horrible journeys and experiences that we have had, that we have all had, make us who we are today if we choose to turn our lives around for the better and for the positive. So when you think about your past, and I say do not let it dictate your future, I really do mean that. You can transform the direction your life is going in, but it just means the work. It means putting in the effort, and it's not easy. But anything worth having, especially if it means your life is better, more empowered, you are in the driving seat, then it is worth putting in that effort. It can take making one single change to start pivoting and shifting things in the direction you want to go in. So some of you may already know, I get up at 5 in the morning. One of the first things I do is my yoga mat comes out. After I brush my teeth and had a drink of lemon water, my yoga mat comes out. Is it easy? And sometimes I get out of bed and I'm like, oh, I just want to go back. But I make myself stay up and I get downstairs till it becomes this consistent, constant habit. Now, even if I want to lie in, I can't because I'm in the habit of getting up. Was it easy? No. But do I enjoy it? First thing in the morning is the best time of the day as far as I'm concerned. So my final point to you is being over 40, being over any age, doesn't mean it's too late to turn things around. And I do speak particularly to people over the age of 40. Like I say, I mean, that individual at university who was 25 and thought they were too old, I really hope they adjust that thinking, because if they think they were too old now, well, heaven help them when they reach 50. Regardless of your age, do not allow past experiences to dictate your future, to tell you you cannot move forward. No matter what your teachers have said, even family members in jest, regardless of what society says, telling you you need to slow down, you're not good enough, you can't achieve this, it's not possible for you, yada, 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 and the list goes on. Make your own rules. Decide you are going to take your life, you are going to turn it around and make it yours. You are the only one empowered to do so. I can give you all the advice in the world, but at the end of the day, only you can pivot and make that shift. Do not look back at your life and have it full of wishes. I wished I had, if only. Take your life and make it something you want to live, something that makes you want to get up in the morning. When you wake up, I look forward to getting up in the morning. Yes, it's early, but I look forward to it because I have a purpose. I have something I am doing. I am consistently at my desk at a set time every single morning because I have a purpose, I have a goal, I know where I'm going. And we'll talk about that in another video because it really is pivotal to turning things around and making your life the joyful, the fun experience you want it to be, because it really can be that, but it's down to you. No one can do that for you. I'm Denver Shy. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. If anything I have said just rings true for you, has touched you in any way, do leave a comment and I will respond. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.